What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about lists, and we have a cool little program here where our explorer is going to tell us um, some countries around the world based on a letter that we enter here. So let's run this program. He says, I'll show you all the countries that start with a certain letter. So let's enter B, for instance. He says, searching, please wait for a few seconds. And he says there are countries that start with B. We have the Bahamas, Bahrain, Bangladesh, and you're going to notice he keeps going on and on and on. He's getting all these names from somewhere. I'll tell you where he's getting them in a second. But first, what's a list? Well, a list allows us to store information. If you look over here, you'll see this set of numbers, or something we call a list, and next to it is these entries, and these are words right here. So you can see that a list allows us to store information in a sequential order. But what's going on in this program right here? How is he able to tell us all of these countries based off of just a single letter? Well, when we click it, it's going to run reset. Now, usually reset just resets all the code, but let's take a look inside what's going on. So if we edit this, well, we see that we have something here called my list to list. So we're creating a list variable. We're creating a list. We're creating a database with all these countries in it. So this database, once we access it, we can access all of these countries. And then we're going to set the database to splitting the database. But that's not something we have to worry about. I just wanted to show you the database. So what's going on in the code? Well, we ask the user to enter a letter, A through Z. As you saw, I entered B. And if the answer is text and the length of the answer is 1, so if it's a single letter, then we want to run this code right here. So set letters, we have this variable letters. We're going to set it equal to the answer that they gave. So it's going to hold a single letter in it. We're going to set my list to list. And we're going to say searching, please wait for a few seconds. And so now we're going to jump into the database, and for each item of the database, we're going to check the first letter of it. So again, we saw our database here, and each of them has a first letter here. Here, these are A. The first letter here is B over on these ones. So we're going to go through and check each first letter. And once we find one with the matching letter, we're going to add that item to our list. So this little list that we created. Then once we're done with that, if the length of the list is not 0, or if it is 0, we're going to say that there were no countries starting with that letter. And we're going to stop the program. But if there was countries starting with that letter, you're going to say there were countries starting with whatever the user entered, and for each of the items in my list, you're going to display that. You're going to say it. This is the list that we were using to store current iterations, or all the iterations. If we didn't use a list, it would be very difficult. We'd have to rewrite this program in a way where we're continually reassigning a variable and continually accessing a database over and over, which would be very inefficient because you'd be scanning through the database every single time you want to display something that starts with B. And then we see this else statement down here, and this is basically if they put something other than a single letter, it's going to say sorry, invalid input. So one more time, let's run this program. We'll enter something crazy, so let's enter Z. Oh, we got some. Zambia, Zimbabwe. Okay, that's it. So there you go. Cool little program demonstrating the power of lists and how they can be used to store information temporarily. So in this case, we pulled things out of a database, these names of the countries. We stored them in a list, and then we used that list within our program. We just displayed them in our application. but lists can be used for so much more in higher applications. So I hope you enjoyed this little dive into lists, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.